Next morning we saw Feng's clothes were in floor. Then we saw Feng was waking up, slowly opening his eyes, soft sunlight touching his body. Then he sits up, rubbing his eyes, thinking, was the time now? Thinking, why is my body aching? Then he looks under the blanket. After that his face turned as pale as ghost, thinking something really happened last night. Then he remembers the hot things that happened last night, hitting his head in the pillow again and again, thinking, so it wasn't a dream. But then something took his attention. It was a message from Mo telling Feng to rest well and he'll help Feng to win the case, making Feng mad. Saying what? Thinking, even if I'm poor, I won't use myself as a payment. How dare that scumbag look down on me? This isn't the end of it. The day before the court session, Feng house was a mess. Feng was drained from gaming, sitting on his chair, shaking in hunger, saying I'm starving, trying to reach the bread near him, biting the bread like a rabbit, crying and thinking I shouldn't have spent money on gaming out of impulse. Then someone named Renji was calling. After Feng picked up the phone, she started shouting saying, Feng, why didn't you told me that your company was bullying you? Feng replied by saying, aren't you on a business trip? How do you know about this? Your fans all went furious on Weibo trying to seek. Then she tells Feng not to change the topic. Have you found a lawyer for the court case? Do you need my help? But Feng replied by saying, I've found one. Then she asks, who is it? Are they reliable? Such cases are really tricky. It's hard for the average lawyer to win this case. And Feng says, don't worry, that person has a high winning rate. In the background, we saw Feng draw on Mo's picture like he was a devil. Then she said, all right, I won't be back for a while. Let me know once the result is out. A lawyer with a high winning rate? How can he afford one? A homebody like him doesn't have many friends too. Did he get scammed? But then someone hugged her from behind. That someone said, you don't seem to be in a good mood, my dear. Then Ren said, something happened to my friend. I have to go back early. She was upset. Looking in Ren's eyes, she asked, you're so anxious to return already? That friend must be special. But Ren shake off her hand, saying stay away from my affairs. Then Ren walks away from there, making that girl really sad. But she didn't say anything, but her eyes looked so sad. Then Feng was reading his fans' posts, talking good about him, supporting him, making him relieved, thinking most people still stand on my side. Then he thinks Kian Mo didn't contact me after that day. The court session is tomorrow. Will he really keep his word? Should I take the lead to call him? Thinking about Mo, he falls asleep like a baby. Next morning, someone was ringing Feng's doorbell, making Feng woke up. It was really late. Feng thinks, gosh, how did I end up falling asleep? The court session will start in an hour. Why didn't I set an alarm last night? But someone continuous ringing the doorbell, making Feng annoyed, thinking which idiot disturbing me right now. Then he opens the door. It was Mo. He said hi, but Feng, in shocked, asked him, why are you here? I'm here to pick up my client while making my way to court. Did you forget about today's court session? No. There's no way I could forget it. Then Mo touches Feng's face, says, then did you know that I was coming? Is that why you only got up now? Making Feng surprised and embarrassed. What are you saying? I merely overslept. Wait here while I go get changed, slamming the door in Mo's face, making him surprised for a few seconds. Then he looked at the hand with which he had touched Feng's face, thinking it's sweet. Mo was blushing on the other side. Feng was blushing pink. Then Feng thinks my lips are burning. Then he starts hitting himself saying behave and lick it. Why are you still thinking about that? Forget that and come to your senses. Cut to the court session. We saw Feng thinking, I didn't expect this fella to be so reliable at critical times. He totally rendered Whitebait's lawyer speechless. It was as good as slapping Han Quan in the face. How relieving. Then someone said, please wait, Mr. Kian. How much did this fella pay you? I'll pay you double as long as you stop right now. Making Feng fire up. Hey, we haven't even left the court's grounds, and yet you're already trying to poach my lawyer? So what? Unlike an ingrate like you, I can afford it. Then he says don't forget, you owe your current success to. Feng looked furious at him, but he did say anything. Mo noticed that Feng was sad. Then that man leaves from there. Then Mo asks, what? You seem disappointed even though I rejected his bribe. Feng said, aren't you going to ask me about what he said earlier? Then Mo said, what's there to ask? Just because you got upset over his words, you think I'm as tactless as him? I did receive his help after all. I got into a fight with my parents a few years ago. When I left home penniless, Whitebait gave me my first paycheck. If Quan didn't get increasingly unreasonable, I wouldn't have fallen out with him. I saw your social media page. Then he rubbed Fang's head and said, if you're current fame, you won't have any problems finding another company even if you decide to leave Whitebait. But rubbing his head, he thinks his hair is really soft. So is his heart. Then Fang removed Mo's hand and says, to be honest, I didn't think that much. Then Fang tell Mo, but I should start thinking about it. Then Mo wanted to talk about that night, but Fang scream and blush red. Then he says, what night? I don't remember anything. Don't even mention it. Then Mo said, fine, I won't mention it, but I need your help. Fang looked curiously at Mo. Then Mo said, Zhang Bowen doesn't quite believe that we're dating, so he's been pestering me again. Since that petty Han Quan might make things hard for you here, why don't you go on a trip to Bali for a few days with me? Then Fang, displeased, asking Mo, you want to use me as a shield again? Then Mo says, don't make me sound like a jerk. Then he hugs Fang and said, all expenses will be on me, and you'll get to have some fun and peace. Isn't that very worthwhile? But Fang didn't look happy. Then Fang says it is. He brushed off Mo's hand, saying, but I refuse your offer. Then he says, I still have work to do, so I'm going back first. Mr. Lawyer, thinking his arrogant attitude sure is irksome. He made ID sound like I'm taking advantage of him. But Mo grabbed Fang's hand and said wait. Then Mo says, since you refuse to go to Bali, can you at least dine with me instead? Then Mo blush red and says, take it as my reward for refusing to be poached. Then we saw Fang in a bar thinking, what's wrong with him? Why did he take me to this sort of place for a meal? Then he thinks although it looks like a pretty quiet and upscale bar, the couples here are all men. This must be the legendary gay bar. Then Mo said, don't be mistaken. I only brought you here because of its good food, wine, and ambience. Then Mo said, what would you like to drink? Then Fang thinks, forget it. We're already here. And there's no telling if he'll take me to somewhere even scarier if we change venues. Then they both had someone shouting, damn it, I knew it was you. It was a man hitting his son because his son was gay. Then the son asked, let me go. Don't you find it embarrassing to cause a scene here? And his lover was asking his dad to calm down. Then his dad said, so, you know, I's embarrassing? You've disgraced me when you became gay. After hearing that, Fang remembers someone saying, do you know what you're saying, you disgraceful thing? Then some woman asked that man to lower his voice. It's no use to flare up at the child. Then that woman said, you're still young, son. Just focus on getting good grades for now. That means that woman was Fang's mom. Then Fang sadly says, okay, thinking, weren't they very supportive of me? Why did their attitudes change after I came out to them? What exactly went wrong? Thinking about his past, he looked really upset. Mo noticed that Fang's upset thinking his mood seems to have worsened. Then the waiter gave them drinks because of that earlier commotion. Then Fang drank it all in once. Mo tried to stop him, saying, this is rum a little strong for you. After drinking that, Fang got drunk. Then he says it tastes a little like orange juice. It's delicious. Then Mo asks, you seem upset after seeing that father and son. Fang didn't say anything, but he looked really upset. Then he said, my best friend confessed to me during the 3rd year of high school. I didn't know about gay love at that time, so I told my parents what happened out of distress. But I didn't expect them to tell Kanjian's parents about it and even slander him. He ended up quitting school. Tear was dripping from his eyes when he said that. Fang cried like a baby, saying it was all my fault. But then Mo said it's fine. That's all in the past now. Then he pets Fang's head and said, since you're so upset, why don't I share some of my tragic past with you to cheer you up? Fang, with his tear full of eyes, looked at Mo confusedly. Then Mo tell Fang about his past. He says your parents might be a tad overprotective of you, but it was out of concern. At least my parents, on the other hand, tried to kill me. And he told Fang everything with a smile in his face.